Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to AMC Mail Bag. This is the mailbag version of AMC Movie Talk here at AMC Movie News. My name is John Campia. I'm the editor-in-chief of AMC Movie News. And basically what this show is, this is a very casual. You'll notice we don't have, the sidebars that are normally there. I don't have any guests with me today. This is just a very casual movie chat sort of thing where all I'm going to do today is take your mailbag questions. Now, the way this usually works is, with AMC Movie Talk, we invite you to send us and email us your questions or topics that you would like us to talk about and discuss on the show. And you can email those to us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. But we've got so many questions from you guys, we never get around to them on AMC Movie Talk during the week, so we started this weekend AMC Mailbag for this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I hope it's beautiful where you are. So, I'm just going to jump right into it here, and our very first question of the day comes to us from Jonathan B., and Jonathan B. writes, "Hey guys, love the show. I'm really interested in Serena, the next Jennifer Lawrence Bradley Cooper movie. Why haven't we seen trailers, and when is it going to be released?" Good question. The film actually comes out in October, if I'm not mistaken, and normally what I tell people is when they ask, hey, how come we haven't seen trailers for this? I normally say, well, because the movie's still a year away, or the movie's still 9 months away. This movie's just a couple of months away, and I'm actually a little surprised we haven't seen trailers for it yet. I'm absolutely sure within the next 2 to 3 weeks we'll see the first trailer for it emerge. Now, this is, of course, the second movie that they're appearing together in major roles. The first one was, of course, The Silver Linings Playbook, which got, Jennifer Lawrence her Academy Award, and got a lot of attention. And they have a third movie coming out. Now, we just talked about a new trailer that came out recently called American Hustle, that also has Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, but it's also got Christian Bale and Amy Adams. It's a stellar cast. So we're starting to see these two, Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, working together a lot. That'll be 3 films now in a very short period of time. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard whispers of a 4th film with the two of them together coming sometime soon. So why we haven't seen the trailers yet, don't know. They should have been out already, and I really don't know why we haven't seen a single one. But give it a couple weeks. I'm sure we'll see it soon, and it will be great. I actually love the sounds of it, too. It's like a period piece. It's a Depression-era film about this tycoon who can't have an heir because his wife, Jennifer Lawrence, is barren. She can't have any kids. So it's an interesting sounding device. I love the Depression-era type of movies. So I think this one looks like it could be pretty good. And we already know that Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Aniston, that Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, that would be a different movie, wouldn't it? Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. Anyway, we already know that Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence have some really good on-screen chemistry. So me personally, I'm really looking forward to it. All right, second question of the day. I think we're going to try to get through like 8 of them. The second question today comes to us from Andrew Phelps, who writes, "Hi guys, love the show. What do you think about having the last Justice League movie, if there ever is a franchise, be based on the Kingdom Come story? My favorite story in the DC universe." Yeah, Kingdom Come is a very special graphic novel. I believe when it was originally released, it was like a 4-part series. And for those of you who don't know anything about Kingdom Come, I really encourage you to look it up. I'll see if I can remember to put a link in the show notes so you can, in the description of the video, so you can look up some stuff. But basically it's set like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's set a number of years in the future. And basically what it is the old school superheroes, Superman, Wonder Woman, that age of superheroes, are very displeased with the current superheroes who are very morally ambiguous and don't really care about human life and blah, blah, blah. And then you got you got these two opposing forces, and then you got like a third force that's being led by Batman, and then you got like a fourth force that's led by Lex Luthor, and it's all this mess, and it really culminates in this big battle between Shazam, Captain Marvel, and Superman, and there's a lot of really neat allegories in the story. It's a very, very cool story. That being said, I don't think we'll ever see a Kingdom Come. There's a couple reasons. Number one, it's important to keep in mind that Kingdom Come is an Elseworld kind of story. It's not set within the DC continuity, but then again, with multiple universes and everything, who's to say what's actual continuity anymore in the comic books? But it is set as an Elseworld thing. It's just like a what-if kind of story. It's not actually supposed to be in the true continuum of the DC universe. But the other thing is that makes it very, very difficult is that the story itself is set like 10, 11, 12, I can't remember the exact number of years, in the future, with all of these superheroes that we're all already supposed to know, all of these supervillains, like you had the Gulag, which is a special prison that Superman set up for these new heroes that were being naughty, and all this kind of stuff. I just don't think you can do it. I don't think it can be done as a movie. It might be cool as an animated little feature some point for all of us who already know all these characters and we kind of understand what's going on and the dynamics between the characters. But I just don't see it as a story that you can actually do. Don't get me wrong. I'd be thrilled if I heard that Warner Brothers and DC was going to do a Kingdom Come version movie. I'd be thrilled. But I don't know that you could do it well. I just think as a one-shot story, it doesn't fit into a continuity that you can set up in the movie universe and set it up right. So I'm going to be the downer on this. While I, as a fanboy, waving my little fanboy flag, would love to see it, I don't think it's something you can actually do. Although I would love to see Superman fight Shazam. That would be pretty cool. Okay, third question today. The next one comes to us from James Harris. And James Harris writes, "Hey guys, love the show. What do you think of David O. Russell film, we just mentioned this actually, of the David O. Russell film called American Hustle with Christian Bale, Bradley Cooper, Jeremy Renner, Jennifer Lawrence, and of course Amy Adams and a lot of other people. This looks great." Now, we started to mention this a little bit earlier, but I mean, the stills have been released for this. The trailer has come out. David O. Russell, of course, already directed, if I'm not being mistaken and making a fool out of myself here, I believe David O. Russell just finished directing Christian Bale in The Fighter, directed Christian Bale to his first Academy Award win. So that's always a good pairing. So seeing these two guys, Bale looks so sleazy and so slimy in the pictures, and the trailer looks awesome. It's a stacked cast. I can't wait. This one's got Oscar nomination and Oscar buzz written around it. So, I mean, we never know till we actually see it. It could absolutely suck. We've all seen big name casts in movies that have fallen apart. But this one just looks and feels good. It's got a very good director at the helm. It's got a stellar cast. The era's good. The trailer was solid. I think we're in for a really good film, so I'm excited about it. The next question today comes to us from Justin Bell. And Justin Bell writes, "I was wondering if you think we will ever get a 28 months later. I know Danny Boyle has said it probably won't happen, but is his involvement necessary? Could the studio proceed without him?" Now, for those of you who don't know what he's talking about, 28 months later is a theoretical second sequel to 28 Days Later, because there's 28 Days Later and then there's 28 Weeks Later, and so everybody's just naturally waiting for 28 months later. Let's start with that second part of your question, because that's an interesting question you bring up about, is Danny Boyle's involvement necessary? The answer to that question is no, because Danny Boyle does not own the franchise. He was hired by the studio to direct it. That means the studio can just go off and do whatever they want. They can bring in other directors. They can have Michael Bay direct it if they want. They can have M. Night Shyamalan direct it if they want. They can have Steven Spielberg direct it if he wants. It doesn't matter. So does he have to be there? No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure that he directed 28 Weeks Later. Somebody look that up for me, as a matter of fact. You know what? I'm going to look that up right now as I do this. I shouldn't be doing this live on air, but 28 Weeks Later, let's see who directed this thing. I might have just made a fool of myself by saying that I don't think he... And he didn't. No, he did not direct 28 Weeks Later. John Carlos Fresnadillo directed it. So there you go. So no, you don't necessarily have to have him direct it. He didn't even direct the second one. So I was right about that. Now, would they do it? No, actually, you know what? I think about 4 months ago, we were asked this exact question. Do we think we could see 28 Weeks Later? And it's the wrong projection. And what do I mean by that? Well, the first movie made this much money. The second movie lost money. So that's the wrong direction that studios like to see on their little charts. Like, they want to see Marvel movies. Money, next one made more money, next one, money, 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 money. What they don't want to see is this. And that's the direction the 28 Weeks Later thing and 28 Days, 28 Weeks went. So there's no incentive for the studio to want to make another one because they tried a sequel and it lost the money. And studios, as we know, are not in the business of losing money. Now, could it be interesting? Sure. But the problem is, now we've got, and I know everybody always jumps all over me and says, well, John, 28 Days Later isn't a zombie film. They're infected. They're not zombies. Okay, I get it. But it's a zombie film. Whatever they call them, they're zombies, is essentially. They function as zombies. So that being said, with World War Z now being kind of a success, with Walking Dead going and all this kind of stuff, do we need a 28 months later? I mean, we've got running franchises. It looks like they're going to turn World War Z into a franchise. We've got Walking Dead on TV. There's already stuff out there for those with like a zombie appetite, if you will, to have that appetite filled, and they don't need a 28 months later to do it. And so you combine that with the fact that there's no money to be made there for the studio. I think it's very unlikely that they will ever do a 28 months later, although if they chose to, even without Danny Boyle's involvement, they're completely free to. All right, let's move on to the next question today. And the next question, that's the old question. The next question comes to us from Jordan Brown. And Jordan Brown writes, "Hey, AMC team, you guys make life worth living." Well, thank you so much. I'm glad we could bring some sunshine to your day. The other day, all of you agreed that an older Batman would best, which I disagree, or would be best, which I disagree. I think an older Batman wouldn't be able to fight like fans want Batman to fight, as in acrobatics and for all forms of martial arts. What do you think? I think you're absolutely dead wrong. I couldn't disagree with you more, actually, as a matter of fact. I'm just going to pull up some numbers here. First of all, look at Jackie Chan. All right? Look at Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan was rocking martial arts well into his mid-50s and 60s. He's still one of the best pure on-screen martial artists around. And he's a 40-year-old? Can't do it? I'm sorry, one of the guys, even though he just lost, one of the guys that everybody hardcore considers to be one of the absolute best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, Anderson Silva, is... he's almost 40 himself. I believe he's 38 years old. George St. Pierre is getting close to his mid-30s. Once again, we already pointed to the on-screen stuff about Jackie Chan. And remember Sho Kasagi, who was in all those ninja films? Dudes, if you're into martial arts films and you're really into like the ninja cheeseball stuff, Revenge of the Ninja, Pray for Death, watch all those old Sho Kasagi ninja films. That dude was well past his 40s. So this whole myth, and I'm sorry, this notion that, if a dude's in his 40s, he can't really be a great on-screen fighter. Sorry, the best on-screen fighters are the ones who are older and know what they're really doing. So this notion is that, he can't be that old. Ridiculous. I'm sorry. Sylvester Stallone came back and did that 6th Rocky film, which was a wonderful movie. Forget the 5th one. But he came and did that 6th Rocky film where he was, I think he was supposed to be 60 in it or something like that. He looked awesome. He fought great. It looked wonderful. The fight choreography was fantastic. Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm going to look up another number here. I should have done this off air, but I'm going to do it right here live. We're going to look up Jet Li. Jet Li's 50. Jet Li is 50 years old. Are you going to look at me and tell me, oh no, Jet Li doing martial arts on screen, not believable? Ridiculous. Batman should be in his early 40s. Because I don't want us to go through another origin story. We don't need another origin story. We know Batman is Bruce Wayne. And as a child, he saw his parents gunned down, which set him on a lifelong path of seeking revenge against those who would violate injustices upon the innocent. We get it. We know. Now it's time to pick it up with a Batman who is seasoned and experienced and has been to war. That's what we need. We don't need a 27-year-old dude who's like, oh, look, I made a Batarang. We don't need that. That's not the essence. There's something experienced and seasoned and grisly about the best Batman. The best Batman stories are always those ones where that's how he comes across. And I'm firmly believe it's for it. It's like, oh, well, John, then he can't do Batman for that long. I'm sorry, Jet Li's 50 years old. Jet Li's 50. Tom Cruise is probably a better action star now than he's ever been in his life, and he's in his 50s. I mean, so don't give me this whole thing about, oh, well, we need somebody in their early 30s. And, somebody brought up to me Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine. It's like, well, it's a good thing they got him in his early 30s because now he's been doing it for like 13 or 14 years. Yes, but that's never happened before. That's never happened before. What is more likely is we'll get a franchise going and a guy will play it 4 or 5 times. And that's all we need him for. We don't want the same guy running forever. Look, Hugh Jackman's going to retire soon. He's going to retire from Wolverine at any rate. And they're going to have to recast him and that'll happen later down. But we can get a really great, in his 40s, big, bulky, strong, athletic-looking actor. Look, Randy Couture. I'm a huge MMA guy. Randy Couture, whose gym I used to work out at. Randy became heavyweight champion of the world, best fighter in the world, baddest man on the planet in his 40s. So this whole notion about, I'm sorry, due respect, my friends, my brothers, but it's a ridiculous thought that, a guy who's in his 40s can't be athletic and good action star. Really? Norris had his heyday in his 40s. Arnold did his best action stuff in his 40s. Stallone did his best action stuff in his 40s. I mean, all this belief that, they can't be athletic and whatever. I'm sorry, but the Christian Bale Batman, look, let's just call it what it is. We can love the Christian Bale Batmans all we want. And you know how much I love, especially the first two. Batman Begins, Dark Knight, primo films. I didn't love the third one, but I still liked Batman Rises. But let's call it like it is. His fighting in that was pathetic. The actual fighting of Batman in those three films was one of the weakest things about those movies. It was completely non-athletic. It was, and even with that, in the first film, he made it better in the second one. But Nolan's big mistake in the first Batman film was that shaky, quick, rapid editing camera, so you couldn't even see the action that was going on. I think it was to hide the fact that the action was pretty piss poor to start with. So I think he did the rapid editing and the rapid camera movement and all that kind of stuff in certain camera angles so we couldn't see how bad the action really was. So this whole notion, it can't be a 40-year-old because it won't be good. Well, yes, it can. It absolutely can. So, I'm all for it. Go character, and I think the character is best in his 40s. That's just my thought. I know you guys have a lot of you guys have a different opinion, and that's the best part about being film fans. Is we can have these different opinions and share them and exchange, have these debates, and that's one of the most fun parts of us doing this thing. All right, I've gone on with that one long enough. Let's go to the next question. And the next question comes from Luigi M. And Luigi writes, "Hey guys, my name is Hilomo." No, it's not. It's Luigi. My question is, do you guys see a possibility of the Walking Dead movie? There already exist comic books, video games, and TV series, all of them with independent characters but set in the same world. So I think a movie with totally different characters and story would be a great addition. Thanks, you're awesome. Keep up the magnificent work. Well, thanks a lot, Luigi. Here's the thing. We've talked about The Walking Dead before, and I got to admit, a Walking Dead movie is one of these issues that I kind of teeter-totter. Some days I feel this way about it. Some days I feel this way about it. But lately, I still got to tell you, I don't think a Walking Dead movie works or is needed. A Walking Dead movie with different characters, it's called World War Z. We've got a zombie movie franchise going. I don't think it's needed. And really, why would fans of Walking Dead, the TV show, want a movie? You get a new episode every week. Well, granted, only a couple times a year, but still. I just don't see the need for it. And what more can you do? And look, I've said for a long time, while I liked World War Z, I thought it was better than I thought it would be. I still have kind of a frustration with zombie films. They're all essentially the same. Like, we get it. Oh, an infection. Now, if you're bitten, you become one too, and the world is going to hell and blah, blah. Okay, how many times can we do that? And you've got a new TV show that kind of goes character-driven, because you can do that with a TV show because you're doing it an hour episode every week for 5 years. So you can be slow as a snail if you want on TV, but you can't do that in a movie. You've got to be able to tell your story succinctly to the point and with effectiveness in 2 hours or less. That's why making a movie is infinitely more difficult than making a TV series. Because with a TV series, a lot of people, I still haven't watched, not The Shield, I keep forgetting The Wire. That's it. Everybody keeps telling, I haven't seen The Wire yet, and I'm getting ready here in the next couple of months. So I'm going to get the whole series. I'm going to watch all of it probably in a couple of weeks. But what everybody tells me is that has seen The Wire, and maybe you can add to this, is that, okay, you got to get through the first season. Because, the first season's kind of slow and a little boring, but it's building things that are important for later on, and then it really gets awesome in season 2. One of my favorite TV shows of the past 10 years or so was Spartacus. I love that Spartacus show. But when I tell people about Spartacus, I tell them, okay, now listen. I got to tell them the first 4 or 5 episodes some of the worst television ever made. Some of the worst television ever made. But if you can get through those first maybe 3 or 4 episodes, if you can get through those first 3 or 4 episodes that lay the groundwork for the stuff, it gets really, really awesome. You can do that with TV because you got another hour next week you can do. And then the week after that, and then the week after that, and then the next season, and then another season. You can do that. You can't do that with a movie. With a movie, you've got 2 hours. Sometimes less, between an hour and a half and 2 hours, sometimes a little bit more, where you've got to introduce the characters, introduce the plot, have your action, have your resolutions, and come to your big conclusion. And you got to do all of it in 2 hours. You don't have a season. You don't have 12 episodes that you can have that stuff. Now, the good thing about television, like with Spartacus and The Wire, I'm assuming, is that once you're able to, if you can take your time with all that foundation laying and all that kind of stuff, it can really pay off big later on, because you can have things in a TV series that are callbacks to things that happened 3 years ago earlier in the series. And you can have a lot of that really beautiful, and I use this word positively, convoluted kind of storylines and whatever that keep coming back. And you can do, that's the payoff of that kind of stuff. But the downside is, you've got the easy part is you've got forever to do it, and movies don't. And with Walking Dead, getting back to the whole point of this question, with Walking Dead, the thing that I think has made it successful is that Walking Dead hasn't focused on the zombies. It's focused on the human characters. And it's really become a character-driven thing. And they've been able to slowly build that whole character-driven story over years. Will it have that same kind of punch of effectiveness in a movie version that isn't just another World War Z, or isn't just another Dawn of the Dead, or isn't just another any one of the hundreds of other zombie films? I don't know. So, I mean, I think not World War Z, I think Walking Dead fans have it pretty good with the show they have. And I don't think they need a movie version of it. But like I said, this is one of those issues for me where every couple of months, I teeter-totter a bit. And if we ask the same question again, around Christmas time, maybe I'll be saying, damn it, we need a Walking Dead show. And maybe that's where I'll be at that time. So anyway, okay, let us move on to the next question. And the next question today comes from Cody Crawford. And Cody Crawford writes, hey guys, love the show. I can't get enough of it. My question is, with the recent speculation about another hero in the Spider-Man films, could it be Miles Morales / Ultimate Spider-Man? I think it would be awesome for 2 Spider-Men to be swinging around New York and fighting bad guys. Then he can also get his own spin-off movie as well. If not him, then who do you guys think it should be? What are your thoughts? And thanks for the good work. We actually get asked questions every once in a while about the whole Wilson Morales thing, because for those of you who don't know, Marvel has this, once again, I hate alternate universes in comic books. One of the reasons I stopped reading them for a very long time is because they just got so convoluted. But anyway, in the Ultimate Marvel universe, which is not the true Marvel continuum, they got like a whole different universe with different stuff happening. Peter Parker dies early on, and Morales becomes, this young Latino black kid becomes the new Spider-Man. And he's Spider-Man in that universe. And it hasn't really caught on that big. And here it faces the same problem that I try to explain to people why Batman Beyond would never work as a movie. Is that when people think of Batman, they think Bruce Wayne. Same with Spider-Man. When you think of Spider-Man, you think Peter Parker. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Now, it's also important to note that even in the comic book universe, Peter Parker is Spider-Man and Morales is Spider-Man, 2 different universes. They do not exist in the same universe. They're 2 different universes. So I don't think that they would convolute things by bringing a second Spider-Man into it. I don't think they do it. And I think they shouldn't do it. I think it would be a bad idea. For the movies, everybody's basic understanding. Remember, comic book readers represent 2% or less of the overall movie-going audience. And for the rest of the movie-going audience, when people think of Spider-Man, they think of Peter Parker. And that's the way it's going to stay. It's just the way it's going to stay. So no, I don't think we're ever going to see Morales Spider-Man. And I got to admit, I've only read maybe like 4 or 5 issues of the Morales thing, but I'm told by people who've read like everything that it's quite a good story. But I still don't think it's something that the studios would ever even want to, nor do I think it's something they should do. That's just my opinion. All right, last question of the day. And this question comes to us from CF. And CF writes, I love AMC Movie Talk. Thank you for keeping me informed with the world of movies. Let's say a movie studio makes you the lead on their next movie project and says you have a $150 million production budget and a $40 million advertising budget. Also, the movie studio says your only mission is to turn this movie project into the next big franchise. Oh, that's my only mission? That's what every movie tries to do. Anyway, your only mission is to turn this movie project into the next big franchise and get a sequel off this movie project. They tell you the only directors available to direct this movie project are M. Night Shyamalan or Guillermo del Toro. Who do you choose to direct? All right, let's start with that question. If I'm given $150 million and I'm set as the executive producer over this new film franchise, and I say I've got only two choices for director, M. Night Shyamalan or Guillermo del Toro. Well, one's terrible, and one is one of the top 10 directors in the world today. This is the easiest part of this question. You go with Guillermo del Toro, one of the probably 10 best directors working in the business today. That's a no-brainer. You absolutely go somebody who's considered one of the worst right now or somebody who's considered one of the best right now. I go with the guy who's considered to be one of the best. All right, let's continue on with the question. In addition, the only actresses available to play the lead actress are Lindsay Lohan or Paris Hilton or Britney Spears or Miley Cyrus. Okay, and so let's go with that. So my actress options are Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, Britney Spears, or Miley Cyrus. Okay, well, the reality is this is an easy one too. Out of those four, only one is an actual real actress, and that's Lindsay Lohan. And look, as much of a punchline Lindsay Lohan has become in the world, that she's just a joke, the reality is she's a pretty good actress. She showed like a lot earlier in her career. She can act. I'm not going to say she's one of the top 15 actresses working in the business today because she's not, but she is a capable actress. She's a legit capable actress who could pull off a role if you gave it to her. I have no doubt about that. So if you're going to say, okay, we've got a legit, capable, experienced actress or non-actress, easy. I'm going to go with the actress. I'm going to go with Lindsay Lohan. So far, my movie franchise is directed by Guillermo del Toro and stars Lindsay Lohan. And let's go on to the last part of the question. I think it's the last part. And also, the studio tells you that the only actors available to play the lead actor are Charlie Sheen, Shaquille O'Neal, or Chris Brown. Well, once again, pretty easy. Out of the three, there is one guy who is an experienced, accomplished, and fairly good actor, and that's Charlie Sheen. Now, has Charlie Sheen done some junk? Yeah, absolutely. Is he a bit of a whack job? Sure. That's so I understand. But the fact of the matter is he's done some damn good films, and he's done some damn good acting in his career at certain points. Same as Lindsay Lohan. Am I going to say he's one of the top 20 best actors in the business today? No, I am not going to say that, but he's experienced, he's done good work, and I believe he's capable. Whereas Shaquille O'Neal or Chris Brown should be rotting in a jail cell somewhere, as far as I'm concerned, and have the key thrown away. And Shaquille O'Neal, no, just keep giving me more Shaquille O'Neal on TV. I think the dude's hilarious, but I wouldn't make him the star of my movie. So my big movie franchise, when only given those options, would be directed by Guillermo del Toro. It would be a sci-fi action film, by the way. Directed by Guillermo del Toro, starring Lindsay Lohan and Charlie Sheen. If those are the only options he gave me, that's what I come up with. And all right, folks, that'll do for us. That's all the questions that I pulled out of the mailbag today. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, this mailbag show, these ones we just keep really casual because it's just the weekends, right? And we just want to talk a little bit of movies. I'm glad that you joined me. Now, look, here's the best thing about being a film fan. I mentioned this earlier, is the fact that we get to disagree. It would be boring if all we did was agree with each other. And it would just be contentious if all we did was disagree. So jump into the comment section. Leave your thoughts. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I really agree with John. And don't be afraid to say, hey, John, I really disagree with you here, and here's why. Do it. Be respectful. I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to have a good, friendly discussion. Jump down there, and I guarantee you, while I may not reply to all of them, I read absolutely every comment that's down there. So, hey, listen, go on out and see a movie tonight. Still not too late to catch another movie this weekend. Go on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. Follow us on Twitter Twitter, follow us on Facebook. Click the subscribe button, become a subscriber. Click the thumbs up button. Lets us know you like the show. And yeah, so we'll be back again tomorrow with our regular installment of AMC Movie Talk. And I guess that's it. My name's John Campia. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.